Carl Edwards picking up his 4th pole of the year, the 11th of his career, and the 8th for Ford Motor Company. The 14th different pole winner at Texas in 16 races. These drivers now alone with their thoughts, getting cinched up, making sure the radios are clogged in so they can listen to their crew members. They'll get that window net up, and they'll be set to go for 300 miles, 200 laps. There are only 3 drivers starting in the top 20 who have never won a NASCAR nationwide race. You saw one of them a moment ago, David Stremme, David Reagan, and the young man Justin Allgaier driving for Roger Key. So let's get this party started as we head down trackside to get the command to fire them up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Vice President of Brakes Plus, Dean Pichata, as he delivers the most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Crank them up, crank them up. Fired up. Hollywood, fired up. Fired up. Crank it up. Fired up. Crank it up.
43 of NASCAR's finest nationwide series drivers preparing to battle for 300 miles here on the high banks of Texas Motor Speedway. When we return, we'll visit with a young man from Michigan who's having a sensational sophomore season in this series. Brad Keselowski has won twice on short tracks. When we return, we'll get his thoughts on a possible first ever super speedway win here today. NASCAR Nationwide Series action set to come your way from the high banks of Texas Motor Speedway. We call it the Great American Speedway here just north of Fort Worth, Texas. Take a look at our starting grid. Carl Edwards picking up his 4th pole of the year. He'll be flanked by 4-time Texas winner Kevin Harvick and Bobby Hamilton Jr., his best qualifying effort of the year. Watch for Bobby Jr. to be a factor. He starts 3rd today. Now, while you watch to see where your favorite driver is starting, let's visit with our in-race reporter, the driver, the U.S. Navy Chevrolet, Brad Keselowski, who starts 14th.
Brad, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You have a copy?
10-4, I got you.
Hey, Brad, we've seen you have a sensational season in only your 2nd year in this series. We've watched you win on the shorter tracks. My question to you is, are you and your race team ready to win on a 1.5-mile track against these Cup guys today?
Heck yeah, man. We're working real hard to beat these guys. We've got a great team here with the U.S. Navy Chevrolet, and pit stops keep getting better. We keep working real hard on that. But you got to put together a whole weekend to do it. So hopefully we can get this U.S. Navy Chevrolet in front of them and get by them and get a win here in Texas.
Okay, Brad, our second question comes from our ESPN mailbag, and one of your fans, Riley in Atlanta, Georgia, would like to know, what is the most challenging part of running double duty this weekend?
Well, the most challenging part for me is it's my first time doing it. So, I feel like I'm capable of driving each car. It's just mentally going back and forth that makes it difficult. So, the more I do it, the better I'll get at it for sure. And if you look at drivers like Mark Martin, who've done it, for 15 years or so, they continue to get better and better because of how they do that. So I think there's still a lot you can learn, even though the 2 cars are different. You learn a lot about the track and all that stuff. So hopefully that'll transfer over here today and we'll get a victory.
All right, Brad, thanks for talking with us today. Have a great race. Now, Andy's going to talk with your crew chief, Tony Uri Sr.
Hey, Pops, Andy Petrie up here. Have you got us?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Hey, Pops, how much do you think this racetrack is going to change today, and how much are you going to plan on adjusting this 88 car?
Well, we got a little bit of adjustment built in it. We tried a little different stuff today. Our car has been getting looser as the day went for the last 3 or 4 mile-and-a-half racetrack. So we're trying a little different setup today. We're going to test a little bit here in Homestead. Phoenix, I think championship probably kind of out of our reach unless those guys have a real bad problem. So we're testing here a little bit. Going to test a little Phoenix next week and Homestead, and we're going to get ready to try to run for that championship next year. So we'll just have to see how it goes today. But hopefully the car stays tight all day. We've been having a problem with loose issues as the day goes.
Sounds like you're on the right track. We've seen that up here also, Tony. But sounds like it's just a 2-horse race here to the end. You think with these top 2 in the points?
Yeah, I think we kind of blew it there on the short tracks there. ORP and Richmond, them guys, places we had a problem. So we kind of blew it there. Had a rotor button problem in California, so kind of got out of reach. But you know, we ain't giving up. We're still racing. Those guys can have problems just like we did, but we're going to get ready for next year while we're doing it.
Okay, Tony, thanks a lot for talking to us. Good luck.
Thank you, Andy.
Let's take a closer look at this championship battle between Boyer and Edwards over the last 6 races. And folks, Carl Edwards on the move. He's won twice, finished in the top 5 all 6 races, and he cut 80 points off that lead just last week at Memphis, and now the difference is just a total of 116 points. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Dale Jarrett and Andy Petrie, and welcome to Texas Motor Speedway. Guys, if you look at those numbers, it appears that Clint Boyer is just trying not to lose this title, not to make a mistake and just hold on. But could that strategy backfire?
Well, the problem with trying to protect a point lead is to take you off your game just a little bit. You take a little bit off and you start trying to protect. You don't do the things you know how to do well. Let's go out there and race, try to race for wins. All that's kind of a rhythm. So I don't think that you can do that, and I really believe that they've just been outperformed this year.
Yeah, you know, I don't think that he's really trying to protect anything. I just think that, you know, they haven't been the dominant car all year long. They've got themselves in a position to win this championship. That doesn't mean they haven't been really, really good for most of the year, but what they've been trying to do here recently is just make good days out of it, and they haven't been able to do that, so it's closed that points lead up. You know, Carl has gained a little bit, but 80 points of it came last week.
Can Carl Edwards overtake him these final 3 races and win the title?
Well, I think so, and I said that the 60 car had outperformed the 2 car this year. Really, I meant this last part of the season. I think that's the key. You're going to see this 60 car run well and run for the win. And if Clint Boyer, I think he's just basically not had the performance lately, so he has to be able to do that.
Yeah. Can he catch him? Yeah, sure he can. Will he? Not very likely. I think Clint Boyer is probably going to win this championship.
Well, based on our expert opinions and some exit polls from the garage area, we are projecting that this championship is not over. In fact, after today, it may still be too close to call. This should be fun to watch. Now, we're going to go over the wall here and watch the action on pit road during pit stops with Michael Olson, the rear tire changer for Kenny Wallace's number 28 team. Watch these guys from the U.S. Border Patrol sponsored team get it done here in the pits. Also take you inside the action around this 1.5-mile racetrack with onboard cameras. 8 different onboard cameras, including one inside our points leader's car, Clint Boyer. And, of course, Kevin Harvick, who has won 4 times, including the last 3 in a row here in the fall. Our race analysis, it is a 300-mile race, 200 laps on the 24-degree banks here. There's the pit window. And tires an issue at all with the van fuel?
Well, they should be able to make a fuel run, a full fuel stop with these tires. We don't anticipate any problems, but you never know. I mean, this is a high-speed racetrack with a lot of abrasion, so it can wear the tires down pretty good. We've
talked about the favorites, guys. Give us your sleepers. DJ.
Well, I'm going to go back to a young man that is making his first start in quite a while in this series. Stephen Light starting in 7th spot in a Richard Childress car here today. I think he has a lot to prove, trying to kind of solidify things for next year for him, and I look for him to move towards the front and be up there all day.
My guy is Bobby Hamilton Jr. Here's a guy that's qualified 3rd for this race, so he's not much of a dark horse today when you look at that. But this is a team that really needs something to happen. They're trying to get sponsorship on this car, keep sponsorship on it for next year, and this is my dark horse for the race. I think he's going to run good today.
And if you did not hear our countdown commentary, that 25 car, they have run out of sponsorship money, so Bobby Hamilton Jr. and his family, his wife, had pulled his own money out of his own account to be able to keep this team afloat for the final 3 races. That's a driver that's hungry. When you got your own dollars and cents in the car, you know he wants it, wants it in a big way. How about Rachel Ray in the house?
There's Rachel Ray. That makes me hungry. Haven't had lunch yet.
Maybe get a little home cooking for some of those teams down there.
See the spam on the hat right there?
They're in the Carl Edwards pits, visiting with Carl. Getting set for 300 miles, 200 laps. You got sidetracked thinking about Rachel Ray. They're getting some lunch, huh?
She's a good cook.
Gonna see if Carl Edwards can hold on. Kevin Harvick was so good in practice yesterday. Kyle Busch back there in the 18 car. Won it here in the spring. David Stremme. It's almost unbelievable that as good as Stremme has been in this series, as well as he has run over the years, he has never won a NASCAR Nationwide Series race. Pace car pulls away. Edwards, Harvick, Ford, Chevrolet on the front row. as they come down to take the green flag here in Texas.
Kevin Harvick sitting on his pit box last night as he watched Ron Hornaday win the truck race here, and I believe he learned a little bit on that start of that race from Ron. You know how good he is on the restarts. Now the start there, he got a great jump.
Pressure's on Kevin to get a win in this car. This is his own team that he is still yet to get a win in, and his other guys are doing good, but look at this mess behind.
3 wide off of turn 4 into the trioval. Now they will double up here in some single file to the top 11 positions. Still mixing it up back there. It's a 7-car of Michael Wallace in behind the 0-0 of Josh Wise.
Yeah, that's the great thing about this racetrack. It doesn't take long before you can go racing wherever you want to here.
Our in-race reporter, Brad Keselowski, on the high side, trying to make a move. There's a 99 behind him. That is David Rudeman, and our points leader, Clint Boyer, in the 2-car.
Yeah, I look for Clint Boyer to be coming forward, too. I think he's heard about all of this talk that he wants to hear about he's trying to lose this championship, or is Carl going to catch him? I think he wants to put an end to those talks today. Not that he can clinch or anything, but he can certainly, if he can have a good day, he can quiet everyone down as we move to our final 2 races after this at Phoenix and Homestead.
Let's get more from Mike.
Well, Doc, if you don't think losing 80 points in Memphis got Clint Boyer and the 2 teams' attention, you're completely wrong. Dan Daringhoff, crew chief, told me this morning that was a wake-up call. As I walked to their transporter, they had a bulletin board. On the bulletin board, it said 2 words, Big Trophy, reminding them of the big picture. Daringhoff says it's affected their mindset. He says they're no longer really strictly looking for wins. They need to be much more cautious now in these final 3 races as they look for that championship. They've been cautious with the setup, and Boyer, they've coached him to not take too many chances and be smart this afternoon.
Mike, it had to be embarrassing to finish 3 laps down in 16th spot at Memphis when you know you're a pretty darn good short track driver.
Yeah, you don't ever want to finish 3 laps down in a race, and especially when you're a Richard Childress team. They're used to a lot better than that, and they just had a bad day last week. He's got a pretty good car right now, but he's got a lot of cars in front of him.
Yeah, I'm not sure about those words of being, you know, they told Clint to be careful here and not take too many chances. You still have to drive the race car, and you have to put a setup under there that he can race with. And it's just like you were saying in the opening there. You have to be really, really careful, or you'll dial yourself right out of a race, and then you are in trouble.
See, Justin Allgaier gets into the wall a little bit with his 12 car.
Saw Clint Boyer making a move underneath the 29 as well. His teammate, Scott Wimmer. There's a 12 car up high, Allgaier. He's the new Arcade. Whoa, contact with the 32. That's Denny Hamlin, and he hangs on. Here's Kevin Harvick up front. Let's check in his pits, Dave.
And Doc, DJ talked about the pressure to win a 4th time here in a row. What about his crew chief, Ernie Cope? They've been rotating guys throughout the season. Ernie will take this team through the final events of this year. But I asked Ernie this morning, you realize that Kevin's won the last 3 fall events here, don't you? And he goes, yeah, Kevin came right up to me. He put the pressure on me. He said, we got to win again.
You got to love that crowd, crew chief.
That's right. Man likes winning.
You got the driver and the car owner there talking like that. You got to feel pretty good about your chances.
And remember, Kevin Harvick has not won a race since this race a year ago. He's been shut out through 2008.
We'll lift these guys for a minute, but they're still racing hard for these positions. Clint Boyer is still back in the 13th spot in this battle. See him really get down into the corner, carrying a lot of speed into the corner. I believe he might pay the price coming out of the corner. You can see that Jamie Murray right above him there, able to carry a little more speed down the straightaway.
Got Jason Leffler, David Reagan here trying to sort this position out.
Yeah, these are 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. The 6 car being shown in 10th spot.
See how that momentum works on the top side with Jamie McMurray now just going completely by Clint Boyer. Clint drives this car down in the corner really hard on the bottom.
35 car Danny O'Quinn Jr., former Rookie of the Year, has gone to the garage area. And a moment ago, the 52 car Donnie Neuenberger came on the pit road and was too fast entering and got a speeding penalty.
You see Jason Leffler get loose right there in the 38 car. Wiggle a little bit, and that's going to allow David Reagan to get by him now. Here comes Clint Boyer trying to